Hello, everybody. Today was it was a planting day. I'm planting more tomorrow. I'm transplanting all my summer seedlings out tomorrow. But today was planting the rest of the perennials because I had already planted Nepeta and Salvia along this south strip here, which is the eventual pollinator garden. And then we had bought a whack of a whack more perennials and popped them in. I placed them this morning and then ended up making a pit stop at a couple of other garden centers and couldn't find what I wanted. So let me show you what I planted today with what my future plan is. I've ordered 3 plants online and I'll explain to you where those are going to go. So here is, let me get my shadow out of the way. This is an Amsonia storm cloud. It's going to be about 3 by 3. It's a beautiful plant. I haven't grown it personally, but I've always wanted to. And it's a spring bloomer, and it's got these really pretty blooms, like really ice blue. And it's really small now, but it's going to be about 3 by 3, hopefully next year. So that's awesome. In this spot, it's going to be the first of 3 butterfly bushes. And let me zoom out a little bit so you can see kind of where that's going to go. It's going to be right in there. It's a 3 by 3. I got it's called a chrysalis blue. And it's like a deep, not a deep blue purple, but a little bit more on the pinky purple side. So that's what's going to go there. I got 3 of those. The Nepeta, I've already planted that. We had the Salvia that was already there. And I've added in, these are asters. They're a very pale lavender aster. These are going to get about a foot by a foot wide, foot tall. And they're a fall bloomer, like summer fall. So that's going to be good. And then we're putting another butterfly bush here, a same color, and that'll be a 3 by 3. So I think, like looking at that corner, I think that's going to look really good. All right, we got 2 baptisia. This I've grown before. We were lucky enough to get the same variety. This is the blueberry sundae from Proven Winners, and it's a beautiful plant. I love the leaves. They've got like a blue tint to it, and they look like pea from the pea family. They've got these really super nice leaves, and it's a very dark purple blue bloom. Hold on, I think they were just starting. Can you see them? Zoom in. They're like very, very dark purple blue. And this is also about 3 by 3. So there's one here and there's one a little bit further up, which I'll get to in a second, but that's going to be amazing. And again, spring, well, it usually blooms around now. So May, June. So that's when that one's going to bloom. And then I've got white cone flowers. Again, I've never grown these. I know they're a very popular plant. A lot of people like echinacea or all different types of cone flowers. I liked the white one. So I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. And pollinators love them. And it's a summer fall. So July, August, September. So I thought that would be really good. I like to make sure that there's stuff blooming throughout the season, just to make sure that there's always something going on in the garden. It's not just green for 2 months out of the gardening season. This is the Nepeta. You've seen this before. This is the other baptisia. So that's going to be there. So if we're looking a little bit at a distance, I think the repeating pattern is going to look really, really good. So that's the second baptisia. Again, 3 by 3. So that's going to fill out really nice. This is the salvia. You've seen this before. And then I added 3 more coneflowers here, white. So that's that. This, we're probably going to leave it empty because we're probably going to put some stepping stones here just to be able to get to the hose, to the water source. So we'll probably put some, I don't know, flagstone or something in this spot. And then the last little batch here, it's 2 more of the asters, that light lavender, and another Amsonia. So that's a spring. It's getting hit by the wind a little bit, but they're fine. They're perennials. They'll be okay. And then the other butterfly bush is going to go here in this spot. And it's like that dark purple, a little bit more on the pinky side than the blue side of a purple. And I should be getting those in a couple days, I'm hoping. And that's it. So this was my big job for today. I don't know, it took about 2.5 hours. 2 hours, 2.5 hours just to get everything in, watered in and whatnot. You'll see our sprinklers going on there. We're keeping on top of the grass watering because it's new sod. So this was job one. Job two was in preparation for tomorrow. And this will be part of it. And then the second half I'll just do tomorrow. I ran out of steam today. I ran out of steam today, guys. I said, you know what? Okay, I'm done. I'm done for the day. So we installed the tomato stakes. See all my little swirly things there? And it was interesting because, as you know, or if you don't, we had filled these beds with half. Oh, look, the bees are flying around. Side note, when I was planting this afternoon, there were so many bumblebees and so many bees just hovering around the salvia and all the plants over there. So I was really happy to see that. All right, back to this. So as you know, half of the beds are filled with wood and logs and branches and whatnot, and then filled with soil. So getting these stakes in, although it wasn't hard, I had to ask my husband for help just to get through. And they're open at the bottom, right? So there's gravel, like what we're walking on now, this gravel. And then we push that aside just to push it up against the sides of the bed for stability, and just to make sure that the soil wouldn't seep out of the bottom. So we did that. And then getting these metal stakes in, just had to make sure that you're not hitting a log on your way down. And then my husband helped push through the gravel just to get them a little bit more stable. So those are in. I'm planning on transplanting my tomatoes tomorrow. And then I also seeded melon seeds in this guy, in this bed this morning. Now, I think I mentioned this in a previous video. I have not had great success with melon. However, I kept trying the same variety from that same seed packet. So what I decided to try this year was a different variety of cantaloupe. It's like a muskmelon, it's like a small sized cantaloupe. What is it called? Honey rock? I think it's honey rock. So I made like 5 little piles in there, and I think I put like 5, 6 seeds in each one, and I'll thin it once everything comes up. But I'm optimistic. We'll see. But they're in there, they're watered in, so that's good to go. The rest of the garden is looking good. The only thing I'll be touching here tomorrow, I'll be transplanting the tomatoes in there. I'll be transplanting the herbs in the pots on the deck, which we're going to go up there in a second, so I'll show you that. And then I'll be transplanting marigolds here and there, probably not in the berry beds, but here and there in these other beds. And I usually just pop them in like on an end. Now I realize that there's carrots here, so I might have to be strategic in my placement. I might end up, oops, get my shadow out of the way. I might end up putting one in the middle. And it's really for pest control, just to make sure that any little bugs that would be deterred by marigolds would be, just by popping a marigold in there. I probably won't, mind you, I may add one to the garlic because there's one row of garlic here that didn't do very well. That didn't come up in the winter, so there's actually a spot right here that I can pop a marigold in. Anyway, it's all good. We will sort that out tomorrow. The other thing that we're going to do is install my teepees for the pole beans. Now, what I do is I'm going to be putting them here, and I'll build them tomorrow, and I'll show you what that looks like. And I seed the beans next to the lettuce. So what it's going to look like, and I'm going to try to explain it today, but you'll see it tomorrow. It's basically 4 bamboo poles, and I'll put them like in 4 corners. I'm going to make 2 of them, 1 on each side of these beds. And then I wrap like twine or string up the teepee pole. I attach the teepee at the top with the tie wrap and some twine, and then I just wrap around the teepee with string so that the beans will be able to climb up it. And I'm going to seed them now because it's going to take them a while to actually germinate and climb the teepee before they even start leafing out and growing anything. So we'll still keep harvesting the lettuce. If anything, by the time the beans are tall enough to even leaf out and create a little bit of shade, it'll be warm enough that the lettuce will like it. But once that becomes cumbersome, then we'll just start pulling heads of lettuce as opposed to just snipping off the leaves, which we're about to do soon. Look at this butter crunch lettuce. Doesn't it look amazing? It looks so good, living its life. They all look really good. We should start eating this. We've been eating the arugula. Oh, look, it's getting warm. It's getting warm. Anywho, so that's for tomorrow. And I think that's going to be it. It's all transplanting, and I have to direct seed. I did the melon. I have to direct seed the dill. I don't know why I didn't start the dill inside. Everything else I started inside. So let me go show you one last thing. Bear with me. Sorry for moving so quickly. We just watered the grass back here. That's why it's still a little bit wet on the path here. We're being super careful to make sure that the grass takes hold and roots well. It looks really great. Isn't that great? Happy grass. The rain helped. We had some rain over the past few days. Big rain. So very happy about that. So these are the pots that I'm going to be transplanting my herbs in. Chamomile is already there. It came back from last year. It reseeds itself so easily. Look how happy it is. It's amazing. I like drying it for herbal tea. So these are my these are my transplants. I left them out all day today in preparation for their journey into the wild tomorrow. And then I'm also going to be including my 2 little herbs that I bought this week, because I found out that I had 2 pots that I didn't plant anything for. So we can't have that now, can we? That's like blasphemy. So I figured, you know what, let's do a rosemary and a chive. And then these are all mint and lemon balm. There's a Thai basil in there. There's some other herbs in there. The parsley, I just watered them. They were a little peaked after the warm day today, their first day outside. I've got 2 columbines in there too. Not doing so great. Pine is doing well. Gorge. And then the rest are marigolds. And then we've got the tomatoes and basil hiding over there. So that's tomorrow. And seeding the beans and seeding the dill and just transplanting everything into there. And now I'm in pain from all the planting. But it was a good job done. And you can really see the side from this side, how nice it looks. And then once the butterfly bushes come in, look how cool it looks. It's really nice. And then this is all going to fill in. They look really small now, these plants, but they're new. They're little newbies, but they'll fill in. Next year will be a really good year. I'm excited. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'll probably record another video tomorrow for the tomatoes and the beans and the teepees and all of that, the transplant process. But that's it for today. Have a good one.